What's going on, y'all? I'm Brandon Atlanta Man Bang, coming to you live right here at Coach's Corner, the center of the universe, Thunderbolt, Georgia. Another episode of Rubbin' and Grubbin'. Rubbin' is racing, grubbin' is tasting. Hope everybody's having a great Wednesday night. Got a lot of little NASCAR news to go over after that last race there at Indy. We'll break it all down for you, man, so you guys stay tuned. But before we get into today's show, I do want to send big thoughts and prayers and a lot of love out there to Mr. Dan Walker and his family. His wife passed this past weekend, and just want to say we love you and we're thinking about you, Dan, and missing you already. So I hope to see you here soon, man. Love you, Dan. But getting right into it, man. Word of the day. If you're new to tuning in, the way we like to start this out is what we call the word of the day. I have no idea what it is, but every time I say it, you're going to take a sip of your favorite adult beverage. I always like to say it's age appropriate. It's Wednesday, middle of the week. You know, kids, if you're watching, you're a NASCAR fan, go get some sweet tea, some Kool-Aid, play along, have a good time. But at the end of the day, last week's word was Noah, which, talking about that suspension and replacement and everything that's going on in the drama with Noah, I'm sure we said that quite a few times. So probably had a pretty good buzz going on, man. But let's get right into it. So moving on with that NASCAR news, look, 34 and Michael McDowell went out there and got the job done, man. I can't take nothing away. I tell you what, secured his spot in the playoffs. That's an awesome deal there for him. Have really excelled, I think, this season, not only on road courses, but the consistency is definitely taking a step up for McDowell. And I think that just speaks volumes on what we're seeing the next-gen car be able to do for some of these smaller teams, which we'll talk about more in a bit. But big shout-out out there to Michael McDowell, man. Good win, locked himself in, and hey, I hope Michael McDowell makes it to the Final Four, man. Give him a shot at Phoenix, ain't it, Lauren? Give him a shot at Phoenix, man. So going back to the Oval at Indy, I mean, breaking, more news, man. Had that tire test there on the Oval, Goodyear, and a few teams got to go run it Monday and Tuesday. Hopefully the data and results were good. I think that NASCAR is smart enough as an organization and a business to understand the fans, to me, really want to see the Oval. I mean, the road course is cool, and we had to do it because of, whatever reasons that we did it for. But at the end of the day, the history for NASCAR as far as Indy goes is on the Oval, and that's where I'm at. So hopefully we make that happen for 2024, man. I mean, sooner, not later. And looks like, with the data being good, and I think the cars have put on a good show, I think the next gen would be a really good-looking car to see out there around that Oval. So we'll see what happens and if they get it on the schedule, man. So, as everybody probably knows, Harvick's been in a little bit of rough shape. I mean, I had no idea. I didn't read anything about it or check anything about it or hear about it, but had some broken ribs for, let's see, I think the last 6 weeks. He says the injury happened on the break with Keegan. I think they went overseas to race somewhere in Italy, as far as what I'm reading, and he was racing overseas and fell down a flight of stairs. And, I had no idea, but, hey, man, at that age, riding out with him, pretty tough to do, man. So I give him some credit there. He's giving it his all in his last year, and I like that. So big shout out to Happy right there, man. If you guys hadn't, man, please go out, like, share, follow all that social media that's out there. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram. You can find us on Twitter. But most importantly, go out, subscribe to that YouTube channel. I think we're up to like 304 or 305. I met some really cool guys out this past weekend, Dallas and Taylor from Dawsonville, Georgia, matter of fact, is where they were from. Caught up with them, I think, here later on this year. I'm going to do a call-in with one of them and go back and forth a little bit. Really good NASCAR guys, know their NASCAR, kind of the same aspects and inspirations of what we want to see in the sport, so good conversation there. But, yeah, man, they subscribe. So, hey, look, like I said, we gave away the Dale Jr. hood, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks, 3 weeks ago. We got the helmet. We got the Harvick helmet, man. We still got the Harvick helmet over here ready to go. Really cool piece for the man cave. I mean, these are some really nice helmets. We're trying to get to 400, right? 96 in the next, what we got? 10 weeks, 12 weeks? 11 weeks? Man, the median of the two, I said, hey, I like it, 12, right? Counting this week? Okay, 12 weeks. Yeah, 12 weeks. Yeah, man, we could do that. I mean, come on, y'all. Help a brother out. Like I said, tell your grandma, your aunts, your uncles, tell them to subscribe, man. I mean, the way I look at it is the more eyes I can get watching the show, hopefully the more people we can get to kind of buy into what we do here at Coach's Corner and on Rubbing and Grubbing with Checkered Flag for Charity. That's what it's all about for us. It all stays local in our area, spreading the love, whether it be an organization or an individual family or person. It all stays local, so that's the main thing. So go out and subscribe, man. That's what we're talking about. So do got to give a big shout out there to old Smoke, man. You know, you got to congratulate Smoke. I mean, won there at Eldora in SRX Series. Great run there. That was a good race. I mean, I've been tuning in there. I love the start times on there. You know, 9 like for the event. I mean, I think that's a great time. I really love tuning in on Thursday nights and checking that out. It kind of gets you set up for your whole race weekend leading into NASCAR. You know, you're getting whether it be asphalt or dirt, you're getting some good action there, and then turn around and bam, Truck Series or Xfinity Series and Cup Series. So really enjoyed that. But yeah, big shout out to Smoke. I mean, you know, the man, the myth, the legend himself, climbing fences and waving trophies and acting up, man. So good win there. But I'm still pulling for my boy Kenny Schrader to get that win. But you know, speaking of Kenny Schrader just went up there to Canada and won that NASCAR Piney Series race, man. So 68-year-old Kenny Schrader, baby. Big shout out, big fan of Kenny's. You know, he's done a call in on the show. I like to keep up with him especially and figure out what he's doing. And big congratulations, brother. Hope you're watching, man. And big shout out. I'll shoot you a text here probably after I get off the show and let you know. Big win, man. I like it. Keep it going. I'm still pulling for that SRX win for Kenny Schrader, though. And last not least, man, let's send out a happy birthday to old Rusty Wallace, man. You know, had a birthday earlier in the week. You know, got to give him a shout out, getting up there. Hall of Famer. I mean, just an awesome race car driver. You know, so good to see you there, but happy birthday, Rusty. Yeah, Lawrence supports still to this day. Miller Lite, I do not. Yeah. So blue ovals with the Miller. Yeah, I hear it, man. But no, yeah, that's just an awesome race car driver, and you know, deserves a birthday shout out, man. So getting into it and looking at the playoff bubble, man, we got 2 regular season races left. I don't see it go. I see it. I mean, there's guys anywhere basically behind. I think, you know, Daniel Suarez. I think anybody behind Daniel Suarez pretty much is going to have to win their way in. So Ty Gibbs, Alex Bowman, you know, Chase Elliott, Allmendinger, anybody further back than that, I feel like you're going to have to win to get in. And you got 2 shots left at it. I think Suarez, with some luck and some good runs, we know Bubba's going to bring the thunder there at that restrictor plate race at Daytona. We'll talk about next week a little bit, you know, as far as that goes, a dark horse that Bubba will be able to probably come in there and have a really, really freaking good run. But at the end of the day, we're talking about now, and we're talking about having to win to get in. And this weekend, the 9 probably has the best opportunity, but he's going to have to win to get in. There's no more pointing in for a lot of those guys. Daniel's there. I mean, I like it. You see it. I mean, it's awesome. I feel like this is it, all or nothing. So, but yeah, that's what our playoff picture is looking like. We're getting down to it. We got 2 races left, man. We're going to have to wait and see how it all unfolds. And we know Daytona is an awesome place to watch it go down. So, you know, what happens this weekend is going to dictate how wild Daytona goes for me, if you want my opinion. But we'll figure it out as we go, man. But that's going to do it for the NASCAR news, man. Moving right into the Checkered Flag for Charity. And like I said, taking a little break from what we were doing earlier in the season, but we're still raising bucks. We're doing some stuff here at Coach's. As what we do to donate into whatever cause it may be, whatever car number wins that race is the car number that we note in. And damn, I forgot my swear bucket. Oh, money blowing everywhere. We making it rain. Thank you, Lawrence. Got a 34, that's the 434 going in. All right. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you, man. The man, the myth, the legend, the producer of it all, Lawrence Bennett. Boom, that's the 30 going in, man. So raised a little bit over $30,000 this year, and I think that's freaking amazing. Doing a really good job. But again, none of that is possible without all the patrons and everybody here at Coach's Corner, all the staff members from ownership with John and Adele, all the way down through the kitchen to your waiters, your waitresses, your bartenders. I mean, everybody's awesome up here. They all chip in. They all do their part to make sure that we raise a good amount of money for our community. And that's what this is all about. When we talked about this 5 years ago, and Lawrence and everybody in here, we were just talking about a NASCAR show and let's do this, and we finally started it. You know, that's what it was all about for all of us, honestly. It was just about trying to figure out a way to talk about a sport that we love and have a good time with brothers, and then raise some money for great causes in the community. And that's what we're able to do, not only on Checkered Flag for Charity, but Coach's Corner in general. And that's all possible half because of the patrons. So love you guys for that, man. Everybody keep coming up, keep tuning in. You know, music, concert venues, all kinds of cool stuff coming up here at Coach's Corner, and gonna have some Cooler Full of Joys. We got some other good little raffle auction type things going off we're gonna be doing out, you know, throughout the fall. So just make sure you guys keep up to date with us on Rubbin' and Grubbin', and follow Coach's Corner there on their social media, just to keep, you know, in the loop about what's going down up here. John is very good at quick popping events. So it might be Monday and Wednesday night, you might have something that wasn't even talked about all for the last 2 weeks. So very good at that, and an awesome time every time, but make sure you come out and check it out. And like I say all the time, doesn't matter, nickels, pennies, dimes, 10, 20s, 150s, whatever you got to give, come on and give a little back to that community, man. So before we go any further, man, we're going to pause for station identification right here on Coach's Corner Sports Network. And check this out. I got one tonight, man. I got a bucket of a couple cold ones up here. Yeah, first time in a long time, well overdue. Cheers to everybody. Big cheers to coaches. Lawrence, love you. Thank you, brother. Cheers, y'all. All right, man. So getting into the second favorite part of the show. But before we do, got to give a big shout out there to my main man, Parker Eccles, Arbor Man Tree Service, owner-operator. Hey, man, best in the biz there is in Savannah. I'm telling you right now, go out, get that number you'll see scrolling on the bottom of the screen. Anything tree service need-wise, make sure you give that man a call. It doesn't matter if it's full tree removal, cutting back some limbs off the house, stump grinding, need an estimate, make sure you give Parker a call over there, Arbor Man. He'd be more than happy to come out and help you out, man. There again, locally owned, operated, insured, the full shebang. He knows what he's doing. Definitely going to take care of you, man. As I like to say, no job too big, too small. Give Parker a call, y'all. Love you, dude. But getting into that who's hot and who's not. And to be honest with you, man, we should all know who stays number one on that list. And if you ask me, that's Martin Truex Jr., man. I mean, Martin Truex Jr. right now is on a tear. I mean, the way I look at it is there hadn't been a bad run for that team in quite some time. Really good finish here this past weekend. Really good finishes in the week priors. I think that they've got it figured out at the right time. I think if you go and look through the whole playoffs, there's a couple tracks on there that are definitely going to benefit Martin, and there's probably a couple on there that would hurt him. But at the end of the day, I think that this team, with James Small and everybody involved, is definitely strong enough to take it on. And I think it would be really cool to see Martin Truex get another one. I'm an Elliott fan, as always, but I think when guys get up there in age and they've been doing it for so long, and, you know, it's kind of like one more year, you know, one more season, and to see the success that he had this year compared to last year, respects there, and that team's hustled hard for him, and he's hustled for them all season. So big shout out to Martin right there, you know, staying number one on the mountain, man. Two, I mean, there's a lot of guys out there I think that are in close to this position right here, but as of right now, I think Kyle Larson. I think Kyle Larson has gotten everybody to kind of write him off, right? If we go back and start looking for, you know, leading laps and going out and being dominant and, like, you know, maybe not on a fuel strategy or a tire strategy, but driving to the front, having the horsepower, having the speed, having the handle, and leading a lot of laps, if not winning the race, leading a lot of laps. And we just hadn't seen that over the last few weeks. We've seen them lead laps, don't get me wrong. They're very good. I say it all the time. Cliff Daniels and Kyle Larson are two at the best at figuring out things that'll benefit that max point day that they can possibly get. You know, let's not forget that earlier in the season, even though they got some of it back, you know, they took a hit there. You know, Hendrick took a hit. So I just look at it like this. You know, they're doing certain things to benefit their points day. I think, to me, that is the Jeff Gordon, Ray Evernham, Chad Knaus, Jimmy Johnson-esque type here with Cliff Daniels and Kyle Larson. I just really think it is. So at the end of the day, number two on the list is Young Money, baby. Three on the list for me is Chase the Bulldog Elliott, man. And I'm going to tell y'all like this, man. I rep it. I'm going to rep it all the time, good or bad. I don't care. This is my dude. He's going to make the playoffs, y'all. I'm calling the shot. He's winning this weekend. I'm taking everything that I got and putting it on Chase Elliott to win this weekend. I'm betting the house on it, man. That's all there is to it. We're betting the house on it. After the run he had last weekend, 1, the speed, 2, we're going to a place that he's had really good success at, knows how to get around there extremely fast. I think he's hungry, he's ready, he's getting ready to get it. It's about to happen. So he's on it, man. He got to win, get after it. That's all there is to it, brother. Go Dogs. Go get them. So who's not, right? Moving into the night, all right? I'm going to say it like this. And I'm going to take a sip of beer before I do, because I don't mean this in a disrespectful way, but just as of recent weeks. 3-shy Kyle Busch makes a not list. 2 weeks in a row, finished in 30 or worse. All right? Wrecked the damn thing up there at Michigan. And just had, god-awful, another run back-to-back. I mean, it's like 37th, I think, dead last, and 32nd or 3rd or 6th or something like that this past week at Indy. It's bad. And this is a bad time to have it happen. So I'm not doubting that I think that Kyle Busch and RCR have the ability to be able to come out and rebound strong. They're already in the playoffs. They're set. They've won races this year. They've got playoffs, some playoff points. I think they're going to be able to do what they need to do and rebound from this. But what I'm saying is, at the end of the day, you do have the Roval that's very close to a race at Martinsville, which, let's be honest, we, haven't had the best short track racing with the next-gen car at that particular track for sure. I don't want to see him lock himself into being something bad, right? But as of right now, bad finishes, got to get it together. You got 2 races left, I feel like, that are practice before, hey, at Darlington, you better come out swinging and starting to win races again. You got to heat it back up. So we'll see what he does, but that's just me. 2 for me, the watermelon man himself, Ross Chastain, makes a not list. And you hadn't heard his name being talked about the guys up front running contending for wins in quite some time. I think the watermelon man is another team that, if you look at it, you're not going to tell me that SVG, which I completely understand, he's coming from this background, is leaps and bounds above Ross Chastain. And so what do we see is every time that SVG's in the car in the 91 for Trackhouse, now all of a sudden Ross Chastain gets the poop? Or are we trying to go, Ross Chastain's locked in, let's get Daniel in? I haven't been able to read clearly what's going on at Trackhouse yet, but at the end of the day, I know when the playoffs hit, you're going to start hearing that name again. Again, another guy I just think that's just kind of not been there the last few weeks, and that's just my opinion. But I'll say it to where what we were, and that's it. Last but not least, on the not list, RC Racing. That's it, road course. That's it. That's all I got to say. It's on the not list. Getting into that Indy recap, man, another typical road course race. I mean, this one was very non-eventful. At the end of the day, you kind of saw some strategies play out, which I enjoyed, but it was kind of like a get like me, and I feel like that's what Indy is. I feel like some of these road courses that we go to aren't just necessarily built for the style racing that we do on road courses. I just think there's better places and things to do, but at the end of the day, I'm not going to complain. I watched it. It was a road course race, and I'll move on from that. But 34 McDowell, man, comes home victorious. Like I said, locked himself into those playoffs for sure. Victorious, got to win this season. Just a big, big kind of cherry on top, if you ask me, for McDowell. I really hope that this team does make a deep playoff run. We'll have a little playoff show here after, that Daytona race to let it, kind of where I'm at with the feels of everybody and what round and how deep they can actually go. But I feel like he's right now, over the last few weeks, doing good. And maybe some of these tracks kind of fit and tailor some of those guys, like the A.J. Allmendingers at Colleague and like the McDowells. But you've seen it week in and week out over different types of racing with McDowell. He's been able to have good competitive runs. So I like it, and I like it for the team. 99 of Suarez, looked strong, man. Had an amazing run going, which he still had a great day, but kind of blew it. A 23-second pit stop there on pit road for that team. I hated it for Daniel. I mean, there again, I think another guy that, you know, has a knack for certain styles of racing or certain tracks. And, you know, he just had a good run put together from the pole all the way down. The pole sitter contending all day, which is awesome. And it just kind of fell a little short for him. So I hate that for them, but I'm sure they'll kind of get back at it and fix that up for the team and move forward and see if he can get himself in these playoffs. I mean, that's their main objective, is to run good and get in the playoffs. So he's going to be on the hunt. So SVG, speak of the devil, man, just talking about it, another good top 10. I mean, a top 10 run in his actual full road course race in a Cup Series car. I think that's pretty awesome. I think that the talent there is undeniable when it comes to that, you know, technique of racing, that discipline of racing, the road course, the street course. I definitely think SVG has a knack for that. Now, there again, being able to put together a whole season, which I think that right now, NASCAR has a thing going on that we've got 6 or 7 road course races a year. And if you have a guy like SVG in a top ride, as we will call Trackhouse, because they are doing pretty dang good in the next gen car, and you give this guy good equipment and you have 6 or 7 opportunities and all he needs is one to get into the playoffs, I think that speaks volumes. I think that there again, you know, NASCAR's got to take a look at the schedule and refine that schedule a little bit more. But there again, teams will look at that. When you hire a guy back in the day that was strictly a road course disciple, if you will, if you call him that, and only grew up racing road courses to come out and race ovals, they didn't run very good. Every once in a while, you know, you'd have a good run of Robbie Gordon or somebody along those lines. But now you have more opportunities to go out and win than ever before. So this is something I think NASCAR's got to take a look at as far as moving forward and what that schedule has, man. All in all, prime example of why we got to limit it. As I just said, 4 RCs a year is what I say we should do. That's it. You know, 4 road course races a year. I don't care if you keep 2 staples like Watkins Glen and Sonoma and you rotate 2 others every 2 years, or you go, you know, whatever tracks you want to do. But I think that's about our limit. I think that should be it. I think there's other things that you can do with the sport and within the sport and the schedule we have now to better what we see and opportunities that are out there. And these you can always come back to. They're permanent. It's not like an oval track that dies off and gets torn down. Don't get me wrong, there's a lot of road courses out there, but these major ones, they stay. They put on a good show. So, you know, at the end of the day, that's where I'm at with it. But all in all, for me, really good run there. I thought that was a really good race at Indy, you know, for what it was. Still not a fan of road course racing. If you've watched my show over the years, you know I'm not. I mean, I enjoy it. I think it's neat, but it's not my forte. I'd rather see him on a 1.5 miles or a short track or a super speedway, but mostly a 1.5 miles or a, you know, mile track. But at the end of the day, man, good times there. Looking into getting into that preview here when we come up this weekend at another road course, Watkins Glen. I tell you what, historic for me, especially my generation of race car driver and race car NASCAR fan that grew up watching through, you know, the later, you know, early 90s all the way into the late 2000-esque, you know, mid 2000, early 2000s there. Awesome. You know what I mean? This is awesome. This was a staple. I mean, Gordon won it so many times. My favorite driver of all time. The history with Tony there. I mean, it's just an awesome place, right? And it's an awesome road course. It's very fast. It's very unique. I think this is one that deserves to stay. But an awesome, awesome show will be put on. Like I said, the main man, Chase Elliott, getting ready to go and do the damn thing out there. Go and win this race for me. Lock it in. Get in the playoffs. I don't have to stress no more, man. But can he do it? Got to tune in Sunday and find out, man. But top 5 going into this weekend. I just said it, number 1 on that list, Chase the Bulldog Elliott. He got that dog in him. He getting ready to go out here at Watkins Glen and get after him, man. I'm telling you now, I think the performance you saw last weekend gave them the information of what they're going to need this weekend on top of the data they already have for the past, you know, season on the next gen. But I'm telling you now, this team's hungry. They're going to come hunt for it. They're coming. So get ready to watch that 9 do some work this weekend at Watkins Glen. 2 for me, I think, is a guy that you cannot count out here at Watkins Glen, and that's going to be Michael McDowell. I mean, I think momentum is everything. He's coming off that win to another road course. Very different in characteristics and style, but I'm telling you now, if you've watched his 34 car, it didn't matter if it was at Indy, a very flat road course. It didn't matter if it was at Sonoma, very up and down, twisty, turny road course. I don't think it's going to matter if we go to Watkins Glen. That 34 car is going to be hungry. So I put him up there, top 5 for sure, but I'll take him second if we're talking money. 3 for me, if you go and look at another guy, Martin Truex Jr., you can't leave him out. Been up there doing his thing. I just like it, especially here at Watkins Glen. You see who's behind the boy, the man, the myth, the legend himself, my main man, Chase Elliott, Martin Truex, dude. So I look at that. You know, you also have to dig a little bit deeper in there for my 4th pick. I think there's a guy that has some potential to be able to go there and do some things, and that's Kyle Larson. You know, we don't particularly pick him as a road course racer, you know, but I think the Glen's been good to him. We saw that. I think he might be able to come back and, you know, have the same success. So I think it's time to start hearing that name. If you don't hear it this week or Daytona, Darlington is one they got circled. You'll hear that 5, but I got him 4 this week. 5, last but not least, a guy I think that is very, maybe not underrated, but speaks very highly of other people compared to himself, and that's Tyler Reddick when it comes to road course racing. Tyler Reddick is probably neck and neck with me, maybe not the win category, but with Chase Elliott and a couple other younger guys. Tyler Reddick's got it figured out. That man can flat out wheel a race car, and that's what it comes down to. So I'll take him 5 this week, maybe go out and get him a road course win here at the Glen. Some dark horses. I think you really got to look at the 17 of Chris Buescher. Good average finish on road courses. I think he's going to come in strong. I think when you dig a little bit deeper, maybe even a guy like Austin Cindric. I mean, he's been quiet over the last, you know, little bit of time. I think this kind of fits his forte. If he can just find some speed, if they can get him to qualify good and just find some speed, I feel like he'll be decent on that road course there at Watkins Glen. You know, A.J. Allmendinger, you can never count out. And I think maybe Harvick. I think Harvick's maybe a guy. And Daniel Suarez. I mean, you could talk about a lot of guys, but those guys for sure, I think, can go out and maybe hunt and contend for a win. So keep an eye on them for sure. But before we go any further and get into it, man, we're going to talk about that money line, baby, presented to you by Redfin Polarized Sunglasses, the best polarized sunglasses on the planet. Italian frames, looking real slick, man. Carl Zeiss lenses. These are the best polarized lenses and glasses I've ever owned in my life. These bad boys are made for the woods or the water. Doesn't matter how many styles. I'm telling you, they got you locked in over there at Redfin. So make sure you get on that website and check it out. Man, I tell you what, it doesn't matter what it is. Like I said, it doesn't matter if you're sorry, I'm distracted. Doesn't matter if you got money on the line or a wall hanger. Make sure you see it clearly with Redfin Polarized Sunglasses, man. The best polarized sunglasses on the planet. Like I said, made for the woods, the water. As always, live life fins up. You can always put in rubbing and grubbing. 15, save you 15% at checkout. They got some new styles and frames out there, some matte finishes. I really enjoyed a good set of Hatteras out there I liked. I can't remember what they were, but make sure you go check them out, man. Getting into that money line, I'm going to tell you guys, I got Chase Elliott locked in number 1. That's really all that matters. Me and Lawrence pretty much came up to it. 9 car all day long for that number 1 spot. I think we're going extremely heavy on the 9. But looking a little bit deeper, if you look in that field, you got some good value behind them. I mean, Tyler Reddick's got some pretty decent value. Kyle Busch, I think, came in at like 1,200 opening odds, which is decent value. You know, Denny Hamlin, Martin Truex Jr. even had halfway decent odds. But the little bit deeper you go, there's some great value out there for some guys. Maybe not for a win, but top 3, or even if you took them, like, you know, Joey Logano and Kevin Harvick is super deep, and Keselowski's at like 4,600. I mean, there's a lot of guys out there that have some good odds that you would be able to maybe pick and play. So we'll look into that a little bit. We'll see how, you know, some practice goes and before we lock in. But make sure you guys are following us on Twitter if you want to see exactly who we lock in when it comes down to you know, the money line, because I'm telling you now, we have been on it. We didn't exactly capitalize this weekend, I feel like, the way we might have should have. We got a top 3 with McDowell. We locked that in. You know, still. Yeah, I mean, we were right. I know, man. We would have had a clean-up day. We didn't lock them in for the win. We locked them in for the top 3, which wasn't necessarily a positive day for us. We went negative on the day, but we didn't take as big a hit as what we could have. So that's always positive. But like I said, this weekend we're going in. We're gonna hit big. We're gonna hit some money. I don't know what exactly yet, but we're gonna make it worth our while. But check that out. Follow us on Twitter. Lawrence does a great job, man. You can find it on that Xfinity race as well. We try to bet on all 3 every weekend. Sometimes we'll skip one or the other, but follow us on that on Twitter at Rubbin' and Grubbin'. We'll keep you locked in. Love to hear what you guys are betting on as well, man. We're going to pause for station identification real quick on Coach's Corner Network. It's really not too bad out here today. We're drinking some cold beer. I feel like hell. Lawrence is here. It's overcast. He set me up a nice fan. Lawrence is the best, man. I'm telling you. LB is the best, man. Cheers to LB. And rubbing and grubbing, baby. Getting into the hard right turn. We're going to get down to the nitty gritty, man. Hard right turn, sponsored to you by Lamar's Body Shop, best automotive shop here in Savannah. Auto collision needs for 35 plus years, doing an amazing job. Lamar and his team definitely will take care of you, man. It's 2301 Skidaway Road. A benefit to it all is it's a hop, skip, and a jump away from Coaches, man. You jump right up here, you come in there, you get something to eat, you go back, estimate's done. Hey, 35 plus years taking care of Savannah's automotive needs from top to bottom. Doesn't matter what it is. Paint and body, full-blown bumper repair. If you just need an estimate, go see Lamar, the best at what they do, man. Lamar's Body Shop, 2301 Skidaway Road. Lamar, love you, dude. Hard right turn, baby. Look, it kind of goes back to what I was talking about there with the road course ringers and full-time ride to NASCAR. So I'm not going to call A.J. Allmendinger a road course ringer, right? He's done enough years in the circuit of those ovals and everything else, right? But we know when we get to these road course races, he's going to do amazing. He's absolutely going to have a good run 9 times out of 10. We're getting into an age now with, there again, after COVID, we're bumping up, and during COVID, we're bumping up road courses. Well, I can't get here. I've got to add a road course to make the schedule and make the schedule and make the schedule, and we did that. And that was fine. But now we're still sitting at 5, 6, 7 road course races a year. And I feel like there's going to be teams that start taking advantage of that being in the fold, right? With the point system that we're in, the when you get in, you run a full-time schedule. If 91 opens up for SVG next year and he starts coming in and doing his thing and Trackhouse makes that happen full-time, or whatever team makes that happen full-time, now instead of having 2 to 4 in a series that isn't solely based around road course racing, it's based around being the best drivers in the world at that discipline of what you do. National American Association of Stock Car Racing. This is what we do. This is what you are. So I feel like when we get into it, you hire an SVG, you go out, you hire the next big, road course racer, and you go, okay, I've got 6 dates on my calendar that are circled. I could care less about the rest. I could care less about the oval. We're going to go out and try to contend. We're going to learn some data and build some data to put into the guys that are really good disciplined at that, but we're going to focus on the road course. We're going to circle these 6 races. So if you've got a guy like SVG that's very, very good and very disciplined at what he does, and you bring him into that and you go, you got 6 times a year to win, right? You're going to race full time. You're going to get in the groove. You're going to get the feel of what this car actually is, not only on an oval, but also on a road course or a street course or whatever it may be we're doing. You're opening the door for teams to go, I get 1 win, I'm in. All right, if I get an SVG on my team, we're going to start building teams like we built in the NBA with like LeBron and, like you see, LeBron and Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh. You're going to see that in NASCAR. Okay, well, I want to go out and I want to get the best plate racer, and I want to go out and I want to get the best oval racer, and now I'm going to get the best street course racer, and we're going to put them all on a team, and my team's going to have 3 teams in the playoff every year, right? And people will go, okay, well, that's Hendrick Motorsports. Well, that's not Hendrick Motorsports. I mean, there's not one road course engineer that's on that team. There's not one guy better. Okay, Chase Elliott, what, you think he grew up racing road course racing? You know what I mean? Like out here with SVG, cross over there in Australia doing that thing? Nah, man. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, it's just a little different. So I think that we just got to discipline it with NASCAR and figure out a way. What's the fine balance on the road courses, right? Like, do we pick 4 and go 2 every single year and rotate 2, or do we go 4 and go, they swap out every 2 years? I think that gives you plenty of time to build with these tracks and other organizations, the people that ownership there. and sponsorship to put on a good show. So, I mean, what do we do? What's the answer, right? I don't know. I don't know what the answer is to the charters and bringing new guys in. I mean, you're going to pay big bucks, right? But I feel like now's the time to make the move. We've seen what Trackhouse in general is able to do with the next-gen car. If they do have a third team full-time, I think it's not going to be anything different than what you see over in the Ross Chastain and Daniel Suarez camp. I mean, they're fast. Ross is fast, maybe a little bit more than Daniel, but they all are quick race cars. That team there is no days and age of I'm opening up a race team and it takes you a decade to make it fast, 8 years to make it fast, or you finally, after 4 years of working, have a fast season and then it's back to the drawing board, right? Now, they opened up and made alignments. They're on it. So I like it, but I just don't like the direction maybe it's headed with the schedule that we have now. So that's just my thoughts on the hard right turn. Hopefully you guys got some feedback, man. Comment in it. If you're watching tonight, throw me something. If you watch on YouTube, man, leave a comment. I check it every couple days, if not every day, to make sure there's no new comments posted up on there. So, check it out, man. So that's going to do it for the grubbing. We are on to the grubbing, man. And this is, can't ever beat one of these. This is a whole golden gem here as well. Big thick daddy club wrap from Coach's, straight from the kitchen. You can't go wrong with the club wrap. This is one of my favorites, man. I love to tear it up, but the homemade chips, dude, I'm telling you, these things, those are my favorite. I mean, check this bad boy out. Stuffed up turkey, melted cheese, ham, onions. I put tomatoes, lettuce, mayo, throwing some ranch in that bad boy. Awesome deal right there, man. So, again, like I tell you guys all the time, if you hadn't come up to Coach's, got a meal from Coach's, man, you really need to. It is an awesome place. Best food on the planet. They do so many options for any type of eater. It doesn't matter if it's the pickiest one in the family is going to be able to find something they want. They'll cook it a million different ways for you as long as it's not super crazy and it fits what they need. They'll help you out. I mean, you can do this right here if you wanted to throw extra bacon in it with pepperoni. I mean, they'll wrap it up however you want, stromboli it. They'll do the deed up here, man. So, like I said, make sure you come check Coach's Corner out. The center of the universe. Best food on the planet, man. I'm telling you, I love it. Best chips ever. All right. Got to give a big shout out to Coach Carl DeMasi. The DeMasi Sports Report live to you right here, the center of the universe, every 9 a.m. Saturday morning. These chips are too good, y'all. I got to take a sip. Lawrence, you want a chip?
Yeah.
Lawrence, get a chip. Thank you, brother. All right. But now, Coach DeMasi, man, awesome show. You got to check that out. Like I tell you, comes on live every Saturday morning, 9 until, right here in the Sound Garden at Coach's Corner. Coach Carl does an amazing job. DeMasi keeping you up with everything prep sports-wise in the area and your national sports. I mean, he just does an amazing, amazing job. Doesn't matter what it is, basketball, football, baseball, soccer, hockey, swimming, lacrosse, golf, bass fishing. Coach has got the inside scoop on what you need to know about who's hot and who's not in the area, man. I love the fact, brings on a lot of local kids, high school stars, man. You know, they're just having a good time or a good season, whether it be on the court or on the field, whatever they may be doing. Coach does a good job of that, man. You can also go out and check him on YouTube and subscribe to that channel. That's a really big deal. I subscribe, my wife. Got to make sure you get Coach's subscribers up there as well, man, and follow on. It's a great way to watch it if you missed it. But not only that, he's a busy man. While he's doing his school thing and he's doing the Prep Sports Report, he's also doing Who's on First Base, man. Podcast keeping you up to date. Everything MLB, man. We know the Braves are chopping on. Finally had a good pitching night, Coach. Me and Lawrence were talking about that. Finally had a good pitching night. Love to see that. Getting ready to head into this long stretch here once we get into that month of September, man. And I tell you what, at the end of the day, they do a great job. Coach DeMasi and Kyle Lawson, the baseball guru, pulling for his Cubbies, I'm sure, man, doing his thing. But you can download and stream that podcast every Tuesday, busting out with that new episode, Who's on First Base, man. So make sure you do that as well. So that's going to wrap it up for us tonight, y'all. I had a really good time. thank you guys for your patience on the couple stumble ups I had, man. It's been a while. I tell you what, I love everybody for everything that they do for me. You know, Lawrence does a great job. He shows up. We're here every single Wednesday night. He dedicates time to doing this, and a lot of people that are behind the scenes do their thing as well, from ownership to people in the kitchen to waiters and waitresses to everybody. I just want to tell everybody thank you for what you do to make this world go around for me, man. It's, you know, it's not much. It's an awesome show. I enjoy the brotherhood that we have here at Coaches between Lawrence and everybody else. You know, John Henderson and Adele Henderson are two of the nicest people I've ever met in my life. Big shout out and thanks to them for allowing me just to come up here and talk about NASCAR and have a few cold ones and enjoy time with everybody, friends and family. So love everybody out there. Like I said, your loved ones, always got to hug them. Always got to love them. Give them a big kiss on the cheek, man. Pinch their nipple or something. Do something crazy to them this week. Just let them know you're thinking about them, man. And, you know, life's not given tomorrow, so live it up for today. As always, stay safe. Boom, boom. Till next time, y'all. Wash your hands, man. Love you guys. These chips are awesome, man.